All right, what's going on, guys? Here I'm back with worksheet 8. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here. Now, honestly, probably the easiest ones on here are going to be anything that the radius is already provided. Even when the diameter is provided, it's not much harder. So um, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some of the harder ones, kind of like number 4. So for number 4, if we take a look here, they don't provide you the radius or the diameter. What they give us is what appears to be the area, right? A is equal to 81. Some students think that it's probably the circumference. I'm just going to assume that this is that this A means that it's the area, right? So let's go ahead and first just I'm going to use the area formula. Apple pies are squared, right? Because area here is 81 pi. And I can just replace the area with the 81 pi, right? So A is area. This is equal to 81 pi, and that means that 81 pi has to equal 8 or pi r squared. So if I divide by pi first, I get 81 is equal to r squared. And now you just divide by 81, or sorry, we square root and we end up getting 9 is equal to r. So technically it's plus or minus 9, but we can't have negative distance, so r is equal to 9. So we've got a few things here that might help us out. We have that that area is 81 pi. We also know that r is 9. We actually know r squared too, right? R squared is 81. That sometimes might be helpful. And it actually is helpful. I'll show you why in a second. All right, so let's find our surface area. So my first things first is let's find surface area, and let's see if I can kind of fit everything on the left side and the right side of this line. Surface area is going to be um 4 pi r squared. Okay, so we have 4 pi r squared. Surface area is equal to 4 pi. I know r squared is 9, so it's 4 pi times 81. Which means that when I put this in my calculator, I get 324 pi. Find my surface area right away. Surface area is 324 pi inches squared. Wonderful. Now let's go ahead and see if we can find my volume. My volume here is going to be V is equal to 4 over 3 pi r cubed. All right. Wonderful. So we don't have our r cubed, but we do have our r. So V is equal to 4 over 3 pi times 9 cubed. And when I put this in my calculator here, right, 9 to the power of 3, and we're going to go ahead and multiply that by 4 over 3. And you could do 4 over 3 times 9 cubed, it doesn't matter. We get 972 pi. Now, again, right now, notice that I never put pi into my calculator unless it's my final answer. So you should always leave pi in there. Don't touch it, right? Leave it until the very end if you absolutely have to. But until then, just work with the coefficients and the numbers themselves rather than with pi in terms of pi. All right. So another one that we could possibly do. Um, let's do what's the number 7? Actually, yeah, let's do number 7. So for number 7, we need to find the radius, excuse me, of a hemisphere with a volume of 144 pi. So if you remember, the rate here we go. The formula for a hemisphere, we've got a few. One, we've got lateral areas is 2 pi r squared. We have 3 pi r squared and 2 over 3 pi r squared cubed. So in this case, if you remember, they gave us the volume. So we're going to have to use the volume formula of 2 over 3 pi r cubed. So let's go ahead and do that. That's not it. Sorry for my dog. All right. So here we go. So if we got number 7, area is equal. I apologize for my dog again. The little pug that never barks. Area is equal to 2 over 3. And now this actually, you can do this two different ways. So some students like this, other students really hate dealing with fractions. So one thing I like to recommend is instead, if you absolutely hate dealing with fractions, there's a different way that you can kind of deal with this, but it takes a little longer, and it does get the job done. It's just essentially the same step as what I'm about to do here, but just longer. I might do that step. Um, but let's just keep going. So, all right. So my first thing here is that so let's go ahead and just plug things in. So if my area is 144, this is 2 over 3 pi r cubed, right? Then essentially the only way that we can get rid of um 2 over 3 is by multiplying by the reciprocal. You guys remember that, right? We're going to multiply the entire thing by 3 over 2. All of it. The entire thing. If you multiply the entire thing by 3 over 2 over 3, we get 216 is equal to r cubed, pi r cubed. And actually, we should get 216 pi is equal to pi r cubed, because this will cancel out with this. And then 144 times 3 times 2 divided um, times 3 divided by 2, we should get about 216. Yep, let's do it. 144 times 3 divided by 2. Yep, 216. So perfect. And now we can just solve from here. We just take the square root of our divide by pi to get 216 is equal to r cubed. Take the square root of 216. The cube root. mm, And we get 6. So right, we're taking the cube root. So radius is equal to 6. Now, if you don't like this, then the other way of doing this is again by just acknowledging that there's different ways of writing math. Um, I'll leave that answer here for the radius. R is equal to 6 centimeters. Right, but if we can acknowledge that 2 over 3 times pi r cubed is just 2 pi r cubed divided by 3, right? Then this can kind of become a little different. And I just noticed I forgot my pi here, but I didn't forget it in my answer down at the bottom. Sorry about that, guys. Getting really distracted over here with my dog and everybody. But right, if we do a here, we replace this with 144 pi. Then you can essentially do the exact same steps, just with just different, just sorry for my stutter there. Just in it'll in more steps, right? Here we're multiplying by the reciprocal 3 over 2. However, here what we can do is you can multiply by 3 first to get 144 times 3. You get 432. And then we still have 2 pi r cubed. And so now you can divide by 2 pi, and you'd end up getting the exact same answer, 216 equals r cubed, and then you just cube root from here, getting 6. So you can do it both ways. It doesn't matter which way you do it. Um, this is the faster way, but I know sometimes students get freaked out with the reciprocal, right? So, but you can get the same answer. Let's go with one more problem, finding the surface area and the volume of this composite figure. So this one takes quite a while because we have to find the surface area and the volume of a bunch of stuff. So first, I'm going to start off by just writing a few things here. Let's go ahead and just say that we're looking for the surface area. Let's not use red. I don't want to get stressed out while I'm doing this. So if I have my surface area here, um, right, we need to figure out what's happening. So my first step for my surface area, and let's see if I can just divide this into 2 spots. Okay, looks like we're going to have to find the lateral area of the hemisphere right up top, the hemi. And then we have to then and this is the hemisphere. Then we have to add the surface area of the prism. But remember, surface area is going to count all of this, the back, the side one, and the base here, right? And the issue with that is that we're counting this piece right here. So we want to omit it. We want to take it out. So the third thing we have to do is we have to subtract away the base of the hemisphere. All right. So let's go ahead and just write out this formula and then we'll get everything in, right? So the lateral area of the hemisphere, if you guys remember, is going to be 2 pi r squared. Now, the surface area of the prism, well, that's going to be the lateral area. So perimeter times my height. L- Uh, that's it. Oh, plus, that's the lateral area, plus 2 of the bases. And we're going to call these bases of the prism, so BP. And then we still have to subtract away the base of the hemisphere. The base of the hemisphere is just the area of a circle, right? Apple pies, so pies are square. All right, so I have my final formula here. So it looks like we're going to have to find a few things. First, we need to find R. R is 3. Perimeter is going to be, again, this is a rectangular prism, so it's 10, 10, 5, 5. So 10 plus 10 is 20 plus 5 is 30. And then the height here, we're just going to say that that's 4. The area of the bottom here, of this part here, that's just going to be, so what are we going to call that? BP, the base of the prism. Base of the prism is going to equal 10 times 5, so that's 50, right? That's just 10 times 5 for the area of the bottom there. Um, and then that's it. I don't think we need to know anything else from this end. Now that we're here and labeling things, let's go ahead and see if we can just write the equation for volume of a sphere. So for the volume of this, or not volume, for the total volume here. So for the volume, it looks like we need the volume of the hemisphere, volume of the hemi, and then we add the volume of the prism. Volume of the hemisphere, that's easy. We've already seen it. It's 2 over 3 pi r cubed. And then the volume of the prism is even easier. It's just the area of the base, so plus the base of the prism times your height, which we have. Wonderful. All right, so it looks like we pretty much have everything, and we're ready to just kick this thing's butt. All right. So first, 2 times pi times r squared, but r is 3, so 3 squared. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add the perimeter of 30 times 4 plus 2 times the base of the prism, so 2 times 50. And then we're going to go ahead and subtract away pi r squared, so um, pi 3 squared. Think this is good. Just double checking, making sure I have nothing wrong here. Yeah, we look good. Wonderful. Okay, next. Um, let's just keep going. So 2 times pi times 3 squared, well, that's 18 pi. And then I've got 120 here, plus 100 for the third part, right? And again, this is just going like so. Boom, boom, boom. And now the last part is minus 3 squared pi. In this case, it's 9 pi. All right, so 18 pi minus 9 pi, well, that's 9 pi. So let's just go ahead and write the 9 pi, right? Combining 18 pi with minus 9 pi, we get 9 pi. And then we do 100 plus 120, and we get 220. And we can just leave our answer like this, because we cannot combine 9 pi with 220. So this is it. We're done. Great. All right, now let's go ahead and finish off the volume here. So 2 over 3 pi, r is 3, 3 cubed. The base of the prism here was 50, and then my height was 4. Yes, it was. So times 4. So we end up getting 18 pi. Sorry, not 18 pi. We got 3 times 3 times 3, so that's 27 times 2. That's 50. 4 divided by 3 is 18 pi. Yeah, I was right. 18 pi plus 50 times 4, which is 200. And that is actually my final answer. There is nothing we can do with this. And so this is in centimeters now cubed. Again, I apologize for my dog. I'm gonna go ahead and stop it here. So I guess my biggest hint on these is, again, and I've said this in the past, just label as much things as possible. Get your equation down and then just plug everything in, and it's gonna simplify things so much for you. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.